I think the town pump, to a smaller extent, was thought of as here's the way to make something happen at the other end of the Essex Street Greenway. It's kind of like the mall. You put two keystones at the end and all this stuff in between. Everybody else draws off of those things. The town pump fountain was drawn from its specific site history. John got really saturated in the Hawthorne's rule from the town pump and said, well, water at one time came right out of before it was a street. This is where the town pump actually was built, because that's where the spring was that fed water to the Native Americans and then to the first settlers who built here. And would it be cool to memorialize that, or to keep that thought going by recreating a town pump on the location of that and recalling, Hawthorne's beautiful writings about it in sculpture. And you get to learn all these things about Salem that otherwise were just nothing. It was just sidewalk and asphalt. Well, it seemed like such a leap from that to cultural history, literary history, natural history, all these things that the fountain told you about, as well as being just a great place to come and throw your backpack and sit down and lay in the sun for a couple of hours and sit out and listen to the water.
The piece in Salem was done in around 75, 76, I think it was, the sculpture that I did on it. All this was in high relief, and it had a kind of a meandering, linear kind of tracing from the bottom to the top, and it all branched out and included all these animals and people, and so it was a very busy kind of design. And that was on the major wall that had I think 3 water jets on it that poured recycled into the fountain. In addition to those, it had an image of Hawthorne and the construction that was considered the original pump that pumped water up back in the 1840s or 1850s, I guess. But he envisioned it as bubblers for people to walk up to it and actually drink from it. So we put 2 of those in, one for a child size and one for an adult. And then they were shipped up to Salem. And then I went up to Salem with John. He had people that were installing them. It was a little beyond our abilities to attach the bronzes to the columns. And he had spouts built in for the water, for the flow and that sort of thing. And lighting. He had lighting included in some of these slabs. And so they were attached, and they turned the water on, and everything went according to plan. It was just amazing to see his idea and my sculpture come together on a piece like that. And he was happy with it, and I was too. I remember him saying that he thought this fountain was one of the best fountains that he'd come up with. I know he did a lot of other ones,